that is the exterior portion of the letter, and I'll cut that off and we'll set it aside for right now. And we'll be building that portion after we build the center. And we'll separate that portion, which is the center. Okay, so we'll scribe all of our marks that we made. We don't scribe the roll marks. Okay, and then to make the tab, and then we referred to this extra bit of material being added, and at this point I have cut on that extra bit of material line, not on the actual point of the letter cutout. So I've cut on this line and then created this tab angle, and you'll see in just a moment what I do with that extra bit of material. Now on the other end we also have an extra bit of material, and I'm going to cut down to the hem, but not through the hem, and save that last bit of material at the hem point. Now we'll take our files over to the filing platform, and on the tab end we will use our square file and file down to this point, which is the actual cutout of the Plex letter. So we're creating a notch. And then we'll turn the material over, so we're filing from the colored side, from the good side, at a 45-degree angle. And then the same thing on the other end of the insert piece. So what we've done is, with these two 45-degree angles, when this joins on the outside of the letter, there will be a miter, and will make a more pleasing look to your insert. Now at this point I'm ready to actually do the bending on the easy brake. Okay, so making the reverse brakes, we remember that we make an index point on the back hem, and it's a reverse brake, so we turn the material over with the color closest to you. Find that index point on the face of the male die and apply the power and help the material through the brake. The other reverse brake is the tab. We do the same thing, make an index mark, align the index mark, keeping the hem above the jaws so that the hem does not get crushed. Okay, those are the two brake points, and now we're going to put the roll, the inside roll, into the insert. I find it helpful to have the letter in front of me so that I can see the actual curve that I'm going to be putting into the letter edge. And so we know where to start and where to end, and we see more of a curve right in here and here. So putting supporting the material with your hand, putting a slight curve, and then more of a curve at that point, rolling it through, and then starting on the other end with the end of the arc, putting a slight curve and then more of a curve. And then turn the material over and try to mimic the back hem, make it match the front hem. Now, at this point, you can see, compare the rolls to the letter, and you can see where it needs to be rolled more. And I can see that I need to roll this. And we'll give it just a little bit more roll in both of these points. And that's pretty good. Now we're ready to insert the shape that we've made into the letter face. To accomplish this, we over-collapse the letter shape that you've made with the letter edge so that it will easily fit from the back. And then pop it into the opening that you've created, that the letter requires. And then just carefully work the letter shape, the letter edge shape, into the letter until your hem is down against the letter. At that point, this letter is ready to begin the process of jigging. Okay, now we're going to prepare the perimeter portion of the letter edge, and we're going to scribe all of the break points. We don't scribe the rolls, but we scribe the break points. And then we'll create the tab on this end by cutting the back hem at an angle, removing the second thickness of hem, cutting the tab through the hem up into the letter edge about 3/4 of an inch or so. And on the other end of the material, we're going to cut away a piece of foam, open up the back hem for easy insertion of the other point. And now we're ready to do the filing. And we'll file at a 45-degree angle the hem on both ends. And we don't file reverse breaks, but we will file all of our outside corners. So this is a reverse break. This is the sharp angle point. So the first thing that we'll do here is file down to the butyrate, and then we'll lay the file over and take out more of the hem on both sides. So at this bend up point, that will allow the two edges of metal to come closer together without breaking out the front hem. We don't file reverse breaks. Okay, we are ready to do the bending and rolling operations. I prefer personally to make my reverse breaks first, but that's just a matter of personal preference. The break being open at the top allows you to make your breaks in any order that you choose. You'll notice that the break makes a 90-degree angle at all of the break points. And that's one of the features of letter edge, is that because of its being 020 metal, it's easy to hand form the metal to the shape the letter requires. And now all that's left is to put the rolls, and we'll use the roller for that. Again, we have the letter shape in front of us so that it's easy to mimic, it's easier to mimic the shape that the letter requires. I'll start from the reverse break with the outside rolls, and this will be this portion of the letter. Support the material at the reverse break point, and we know where we're going to end because we've indicated that when we laid it out. And pull the material towards you and roll it to mimic that roll on the letter. Now we'll do this portion of the letter, the outside roll. And then this requires a slight inside roll. So an inside roll, put the color closest towards us and support the material in the outside break. And that's just a slight curve, so that doesn't require much. Same with the opposite end of that stroke. It's just a slight outside curve. So that's this portion. And now we're going to do the inside, the slight inside on this leg, which is right here. And we need to change rollers for that. Those smaller radiuses are accomplished using the changeable roller assembly. And we again have the beginning and ending of the curve. And then I like to try to see how close I came with my... So that helps you to see where you need to roll it a little bit more to make it fit into the letter opening. Okay. There's our shape. And now we're ready to actually jig this shape to the letter and glue it. Okay, the jigging procedure. Obviously I would remove this mask just for the purpose of this demonstration. I'll be leaving the mask on. The first thing to do when you're jigging a letter down is to secure it so that it doesn't move on the table. And whenever you're going to be putting pressure on one side to secure the letter edge, you want to make sure that it's supported in the opposite direction with a peg and wedge. Now what I'm going to be doing first, as we mentioned earlier, is the insert has been, the center has been inserted into the letter face. So what we want to do first is to jig this portion and then glue it. And so I'm going to be putting pressure on the inside of this insert, this direction and this direction. So I want to secure the letter so that it doesn't move. And incidentally, sometimes it will break if it moves, so you don't want that. But I'll secure it so that it's not going to move. Now I'm free to put pressure from the inside of the letter with my pegs and wedges without fear of breaking the letter. And the point here is to secure the edge of the letter edge, the butyrate bonding strip, to the opening of the letter that you're building in preparation for gluing.